Space, containing such vast, endless mysteries. But in what you'd think is a dark void are some of the brightest objects known to science. Quasars. And that seems to be the inspiration for a new organization taking up residence in Lumiose City, filling the void left behind after the events of X and Y, where the head of the leading tech company, Lysandre, let's just say, vanished. So, why is Pokemon's newest organization named after these celestial powerhouses, and what theories can we draw from it? Hello, trainers. I'm Rival John, and I've been thinking quite a lot about the new organization teased to be the focal point of Pokemon Legends ZA, Quasartico Incorporated. According to the information we have, Quasartico is leading the high-tech redevelopment project in Lumiose City. They're the ones who built the holographic gates, sectioning off the wild zones of the city from the human dwellings. If you look on a map, it's the second tallest building in Lumiose. Only Prism Tower is taller. And while we don't know much else, Game Freak is usually very intentional with what they name places, people, and organizations. The name Quasartico draws from the word quasar with the suffix tico. Tico is a diminutive term, which means it's meant to characterize whatever it's added to as small, as in small quasar. So if this high-tech company is supposed to be a small quasar, what could that mean for its role in Lumiose? A quasar is just a black hole, but not any black hole. It's a supermassive black hole that is growing rapidly by gorging on huge amounts of gas. Quasars are formed when an event causes a huge amount of gas to pile onto the central supermassive black hole in a galaxy. Early in the history of the universe, this may have been streams of material flowing onto the galaxy via filaments into the cosmic web. Later on, the gravitational tidal forces resulting from the galaxy collisions and close encounters may have also caused quasars to light up. And light up they do. Quasars are among the brightest objects in the universe. They're also incredibly destructive, but more on that part later. Let's focus on the idea of quasars as a source of light. Naming a company based in Lumiose after light is not exactly out of the ordinary. Lumiose is based on Paris, known as the City of Lights. Prism Tower is named after the geometric shape that can bend and refract light. The electric-type gym is housed in Lumiose. There's also an element of symbolism here. It seems like Quasartico is filling in the void left behind after the events of Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. The disappearance, we'll say, of Lysandre and Lysandre Labs. If you recall, Lysandre was a tech mogul, inventing things like the Holocaster used on your adventure. After Lysandre and Team Flare's failed attempt to use the ultimate weapon to wipe Kalos off the map, there was a need for another company to carry on its mission of using technology to better the world for people and Pokemon. Quasartico stands to be a beacon, a light guiding Lumiose and Kalos into the future with something like the redevelopment project. But, like I said, just with real quasars, while bright, they can also be destructive. They have intense radiation and powerful outflows, so strong they could potentially stop star formations. New stars can't form, and a galaxy can just cease to exist because of them. So why name yourself after something so potentially destructive if the stated goal of the company is to create a city that belongs to both people and Pokemon? And that could be where the plot of the game takes us. Now, I don't think it'll be as obvious as Quasartico is trying to take over Kalos or destroy it. We got a pretty good plot twist in Pokemon Legends Arceus. If you know, you know. But you notice during the ZA Royale, the same holographic gates are used, only instead of green, they're orange. That seems to indicate Quasartico is somehow involved in this battle competition. What for? Too soon to tell. There is one thing I found after that suspenseful cutscene at the end of the second trailer. The logo. Not for Quasartico, but for the ZA Battle Royale. The logo for the ZA Royale uses Prism Tower with a reddish pentagon underneath it. Obviously, it's meant to represent Lumiose City with Prism Tower standing at its center. But does this remind you of anything else? Yep. Looks an awful lot like the ultimate weapon. And what was the ultimate weapon? It shot a powerful stream of light and energy to vaporize its target. Just like what quasars are. Could Quasartico be trying to recreate the ultimate weapon by retrofitting Prism Tower to be the launch mechanism? Are they using the energy given off during battles, especially Mega Evolution, to charge it up like a battery? Are we seeing a double meaning right from the start? A brilliant illuminating force with destructive collateral damage? Well, let's meet the two figures that are a part of it and see what vibes they're giving off. We're only shown two members of the company. One being its CEO, Jet. Her name fits perfectly with the theme of quasars. Remember those streams of brightly lit particles on the ends of quasars that I told you about? Well, they're called Jets. Her stated goals are to help in the redevelopment of Lumiose City to bring people and Pokemon together. It's your typical futuristic-like utopian goal. Now, it would be obvious to just think she's secretly out for power or control. And since this is a Kalos game, suspect she might be interested in the ultimate weapon in some fashion. But we've learned to be wary of red herrings. Her bodyguard, Vinny, however, does appear more suspicious. At the very least, secretive. In looking up his name, I couldn't find anything space-themed or quasar-themed. The etymology of his name seems to be referring to grapes, like a vineyard. Now that's not too crazy. Grapes are used to make wine, and France is a major winemaker, but that didn't really connect anything. Then I took what some others have been suspecting, that he could be either related or actually be Lysandre himself. After the events of X and Y, we can only assume Lysandre's fate, but it's left pretty open-ended. Now sure, the facial hair might match even though Vinny isn't a redhead, but this is the game with colorful hair dyes for Furfrou. I'm sure if he wanted to, he could dye his hair brown. A closer connection came when I looked up his name. Yes, Lysandre comes from a Greek historical figure. Kalos takes a lot of inspiration from Greece, including its name, Kalos, meaning beautiful. The Lysandre from Greek history was a Spartan general who destroyed an Athenian fleet during the Peloponnesian War in the year 405 BCE. But while looking up a connection, I was able to come across a tiny little thread. Demier Lysandre, a well-regarded champagne produced in France. That's at least a tiny connection between the names Lysandre and Vinny, but I'll admit it's kind of loose. Still, this could of course be a red, I guess, brown herring? So we're sure to learn more, probably even before we get to play the game. But for now, Quasartico is cloaked in mystery. What part of a quasar is this company going to wind up representing? The bright light or the destructive force? What's their connection to the ZA Royale? And why does the logo look so much like the ultimate weapon? Hey everyone, a big thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you can take a moment to like and subscribe, that would really be a huge help. My first goal is to get to 500 subscribers. Leave a comment down below on what you think of Pokemon's latest mysterious organization. And of course, share this with the Pokemon nerd in your life. I know this video probably asked more questions than it answered. So, tell me, what are your feelings about Quasartico? Are they the obvious big bad? Or is this another plot twist? Could they have ties to the company that they replaced? Let me know. Until next time, trainers.